Hello and welcome.
I was definitely not Vlad, and you're watching the Mastering All Roles series. We're currently working on Tank. As I record this, it is Wednesday, or no, it's Thursday, so that means we can go and open up our vault. So we're gonna go and see what we got. I put some effort into getting some good stuff, which means getting one hero piece and one champion piece, so we're hoping for a... Okay, that is not exactly great. That is, well, at least it's a hero piece. I'm not too excited about it. Honestly, I'm more interested in these pieces, which come from world stuff. Even though it's veteran, it is still tier set. So do I go for that and just upgrade it? I feel like I have... Do I have flight stones for it? That's the question. 780 flight stones. That is, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. And what do I get from 2 set? I get 10% increased damage on Shield of the Righteous and 3% damage reduction from the buff Shield of the Righteous. 3% DR is like, it seems insignificant, but it's actually pretty dang good. What's this? Also veteran. So I have the Hero Cloak, which is crit mastery. That it doesn't have haste on it, so I'm not too excited about it. That isn't that big of an increase. It's 20 item levels, but it's just a cloak. Man, this kind of poopy, I'm gonna be honest. And what is this? Is this even good? Equip. The gland releases pheromones that attract, not extract, a ceaseless swarm of insects to surround you. Taking damage has a high chance to retaliate against attackers, inflicting blah nature damage over 6 seconds and reducing the damage they dealt to you by 25,000. I'm gonna be honest, it sounds kind of shit. But at least it's champion. I don't know. I'm thinking about taking this because the cloak, like I said, really doesn't matter. Like I don't give a shit. It doesn't have the stats I want. Mastery is fine, but it doesn't have haste, and that makes me sad. And this is at least a good stat stick, so I think we're gonna go for this. I don't want to upgrade from 1 out of 8 veteran all the way to whatever, like 8 out of 8 veteran using flight stones. That would take a bunch. I don't want to grind those, so we're just going to take this trinket and call it a day. I am not going to be taking the Elgari token of merit because honestly this is not a long-term character. It's going to be a pretty short series, so taking this doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know which trinket to replace, honestly. Let me take a look. In my Arakara run, how much did my trinkets do? Wait, one of them is not even a damage trinket. It just gives me stats, right? Highest secondary stat. Okay, so this does damage and gives me a good chunk of highest secondary stat. Yeah, we're going to replace the Ascension one. There we go. That gives us 1 or 2 item levels. I don't know what I was before that. Hold on, let me see here. I was 592, so that gave us 2 item levels. I'm quite happy about that. Apparently I got War Within Epic for switching these around. I don't know how that works, but I'll take it. What is that? Equip every slot with 584. So switching the new trinket around from the different trinket slots actually gave us this achievement, which is pretty stupid, but okay. Now we got a key from there as well, which is a 4 Grim Batol. I have not done a Grim Batol yet, so let's get into that. I'm gonna start recruiting. Here's a +4 Grim Batol. List that group and let's see if anybody wants to actually join. This is going to be tyrannical, so I gotta be careful about the bosses and the damage they do to me. Could be interesting. First boss might be spicy. Second boss is a little bit spicy, but at least the trash will not annihilate me, because I'm thinking of those enforcers and they're pretty scary. Sorry if you just heard a big knock. That was me smacking the table with my ring. Okay, there's some people that are willing to join me. A disciplined priest. I'm not too keen on disciplined priests right now. 623 paladin is gonna shit stomp this dungeon, so I don't know if that's a good idea. Let me just get to there, and again, I have a portal for this. I don't know why I'm running there like a dum-dum, but hey, you know, I'm taking the scenic route. If there isn't another healer that applies very soon, I am just going to take this 623 paladin. Another discipline priests. There's so many discipline priests. You know what? Oh, they cancel. I was about to take them. Well, this person has time to +4 Grim Batol. So let's just, you know, let's just go ahead with this person. I don't want to take this paladin because he's 623. He's going to shit stomp the rest of the dungeon and it's not going to be very interesting. So we have a Frost DK. Those are popular. Let's take a Frost DK and 613 mage. Maybe the 613 mage might be a bit much next to the 6 something. What was it? 6 what was it doesn't say. If I inspect him or her and then take a quick look, 610 DK. So 600 Frost Mage, but no rating going into a 4. No, I'm good. We'll take an enhancement Shaman. Let me think. I could use some ranged. So I think I'm going to go for, we have a healer as ranged and 1 more range would be good. I think I could take the 630 mage. What the heck are you looking for here? Beast Mastery Hunter. Yes, we'll take a Beast Mastery Hunter. They'll give us a Bloodlust That'll be a ranged character as well. And then we can take just one more person. They can be melee or ranged, it doesn't matter. In fact, let's take a warrior. 614 is a bit high though. 594. Yeah, I think that 594 warrior will offset the fact that these guys are a little bit more geared, and I think that'll work just fine. There is a trinket here that works quite well for us. Let me take a quick look at the current season. That's what I'm already at. Grim Batol, Mythic Plus. So this thing, Mark of Cardros, it is actually a really good trinket for us. It gives us a huge chunk of mastery, which boosts our attack power and defensiveness through the stat when standing in consecration. What it says is, while inside your consecration, blah, 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 blah. You can see it. You can read it, pause it if you need to. And there's also this tank trinket, which I do not want. So I'm going to check here and set my loot spec to retribution. There's people, I think, yeah, everyone's making their way here, or they're already here. So I'm just going to head into the dungeon itself. I finally bought some consumables, so that's nice. All right, while I'm waiting for this last person to get ready, somebody asked about how to set up details to show interrupts. I did it by right-clicking it, and then you can find it under miscellaneous. You click on interrupts, and then it'll show you that. You can also look at dispels and stuff like that. That's something I forgot to do after a Stone Vault run recently. I'm gonna start the pull timer and get cracking with this. All right, so the deal with this pull at the start is you want to be able to line of sight this destroyer. I'm gonna drop a defensive here and post up to get ready to get my ass kicked here. We're gonna lay on hands to get started. Somebody is kicking the Earth Caller. We're going to keep looking at the Earth Caller to silence him when possible. I should be saved from this knockback. Everyone has a place to line of sight back there. It looks like they haven't taken up all of the, what are they called? All of those area here with this goop that drops on the ground after the dragon puts something on someone. I'm going to move the dragon around here, around the corner, and run into some friends. I'm going to line of sight it just to prevent some damage going out to myself. Bit of a sloppy pull. I didn't mean to pull this into the next group. I wasn't really thinking about it. But what you want to make sure with this dragon is that people have a way to line of sight that knockback. In higher keys, especially when it's fortified, but in very high keys where you have both fortified and tyrannical no matter what, you will really regret standing in that. So that's definitely something to look out for. Also, I need to change my talents a little bit. There's one talent in Lightsmith that I really want to get rid of, which is, or change the talent to another one, which is this godforsaken thing that makes me, it lowers the cooldown instead of randomly applying it. I definitely don't want to keep having to reapply it myself because my uptime is abysmal. As you could tell, I'm not very good at reapplying it. You'll see it dancing on my WeakAuras all the time. Speaking of WeakAuras, you can get these WeakAuras off of my Discord. It's always linked in the description. Great kick from the hunter here on that earth tremor. We don't want that AoE going out. Now the next pull is a little bit risky here. We're going to pull this Earth Caller. It's going to be 3 Earth Callers, but there is no Overseer, so we should be okay. I'm going to Divine Toll here. That'll silence all of these casters, and I'm going to apply my Sacred Armaments. Okay, I should be good now. I'm going to start just stunning and kicking whatever I can. There we go. That way we can reduce the outcoming damage with the Earth Bolts. There are still the Brutes, which cause these swirlies to go out, but it's manageable so far. Okay, perfect. I'm going to give freedom to someone who's near me. It's a nice change they've actually done. You don't have to target someone with freedom for somebody to get freedom. I'm going to blast the crap out of this with my heavy attack. Okay, I wasted one of my heavy attacks, but that's not a big deal. I just wanted that big group to die while it was grouped together. But yeah, they recently changed this where if you use something that you can use on a party member and still get the benefit for yourself, if you use it on yourself, it's just going to automatically apply it to someone else as well that's near you. So I think PI works that way too. I know that Freedom works that way, and I know that Sacred Armaments works that way, so it's very, very nice. We have the triple Earth Caller into the Overseer up there. I'm going to Divine Toll these guys. I'm going to try and get a reset on my thingy. There we go. Now we have the silence on the next Earth Caller. We're going to stun this guy that's back here. We're going to kick this thing. We're going to use a defensive because I think I'm going to start taking a lot of damage here. We're going to blind to make sure that we get some interrupts out because they're about to die, so I can CC them rather than interrupting them, because they will just start casting as soon as the interrupt is done, and as I really hope they revert that change. Oh, we have someone stepping a little bit too close for comfort, but that's okay. We were there in time to save them from getting their face wrecked. We're gonna kick that Earth Tremor thingy. and we should be good. We just have these guys. Our warrior is very anxious to get his face rearranged by these mobs, so he leapt in without me being ready, but that worked out as well. Okay, we're going to put the consecration down, make sure I have that down before I get hit. I'm going to go ahead and sack the hunter. Hunter's the squishiest member of the group currently. Maybe I should have done it on the priest, but I don't know. As I looked at it, that seemed to make the most sense to me. This person should move away. Okay, so did someone taunt, or is someone doing... Oh, the DK is just doing ridiculous amounts of damage, and I am not doing much damage at all. So that's the reason why I lost aggro there, but luckily I realized in time I need to heal myself. Now I need to move over to the other side. I'm hoping we don't get like the back-to-back move across the entire room ones, because that really sucks. I need to move the boss. I need to move the boss. I need to move the boss. I need to maybe potentially bubble here. Yeah, I'm going to bubble, make sure I survive. There's a commanding roar coming in. I can maybe sack. No, it's 8 seconds on cooldown still. That's okay. That was messy because the orbs came in and I really didn't want the boss to get a bunch of orbs, so I started running in a circle like a maniac, which probably really frustrated a bunch of people. But the boss is being relentless. He's forcing us to move back and forth constantly. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm going to heal myself twice as I have 2 of these stacked up. And now we can sack the healer. There we go. That's beautiful. He's really making us get our cardio in. We're going from side to side, back to back. But the boss is almost dead. Definitely paying off having some more geared people in the run, because this could have been very, very hard to pull off. Okay, nice. That worked out. It was a little bit messy by yours truly. I didn't really use defensives properly. When he does the 3-strike combo on you, you really need to have something running, especially in higher keys where it actually matters. Or in this key where my gear is not exactly ideal. I want to get in on this action as soon as possible. Unfortunately, the stun just wore off right as I got to this place. Maybe we got a bit of extra damage in, because that mob, while it is stunned, it takes extra damage. The Lava Fist is coming in, so I'm using Ardent Defender, making sure I survive. We're going to go ahead and blind here, make sure that people can move out of the swirlies. Interrupt this. The bolts are still going out, but we should be okay. Lava Fist is coming through again. I'm full HP, so I didn't bother using any defensive or anything. I just healed myself immediately afterwards. We're going to pull this group here with the Earth Caller into this next group, like so. I'm going to Divine Toll, and we're going to fight in this little cranny, like here. I'm going to ping it so people know that they should move over there. I'm going to interrupt this because it stuns someone. I'm going to stun this one. I really want to kick that tremor. There we go. We made it work. Heal myself. That way I get a bunch of health and I get the block buff. Very nice. This worked out quite well. We had a lot of cooldowns, it seems, so people just absolutely blasted these guys. We can go to the boss right now, but I'm going to ping that I want him to go over there, so I'm just going to wait for it. We could have potentially done this pack while we wait for the boss, but I figure I want to do the boss next anyway. I'm going to taunt it while I'm moving because I can't get all that much aggro on it. Judgment should do just fine. Now, people will hopefully position in such a way that the axe actually goes behind the boss. That way we don't have to worry about a bunch of our play area being cut off by the giant AoE that it'll put down of a bunch of lava. Perfect bait by the group. They're a bunch of masturbators. You love it. Now I'm going to move a little bit further away. There's Forging Swords is coming through. Healer is absolutely blasting the HPS, so we don't have to worry about our health through that big AoE. I, however, need to heal myself. Heals Molten Fury, which means I'm going to use this big defensive. Make sure I can just stand there and tank it. Why is this guy dropping that giant circle behind us? I wouldn't be able to tell you. Mace is being forged. We're going to go ahead and run as soon as he actually casts the mace, which is now. That means I need to get the hell out of dodge. Okay, it ends up working with the hunter dropping that over there. It's not a big deal. That's nice. As soon as he stops that mace thing, we're going to just move down here. I'm going to ping down here. I want to get away from all that lava so that people have somewhere to bait all that stuff. The big axe hit. It doesn't matter too much in this key level because we just have so much, such a quicker kill that we don't have to optimize where our stuff is. But this was pretty much textbook so far. I'm very happy with this. Molten Fury is coming in. I think the boss dies, so I'm not going to use a defensive. Very nice. I'm going to pull this group and the next group together. So I'm going to use the thingy on him. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Divine Toll again to make sure that everything stacks up. Perfect timing on the stun for this guy. I couldn't have had it happen better. We're going to go ahead and blind here. Hopefully this guy doesn't recast immediately. Chained Mind is coming through. I'm going to stun that. Another change mind. I can actually kick that, I think, if I step a little bit closer. Perfect. With how much damage this group does, honestly, these pulls are definitely viable. I just took a shit ton of damage. I think the giant managed to get his fist cast off. He fisted me real good. I didn't like it. We're going to give our freedom to the priest. I'm looking at cooldowns. We have Avatar. I think it's going to be these three and this and this, and we're going to go ahead and wings it up. We have a big old dome here. Love to see it. We're going to kick that guy in the background. Beautiful stun. I'm going to bubble here because there's a bunch of circles and I'm very scared. We have a disc priest, so I'm going to try and help with off healing here because disc priests struggle with heal absorbs because smart healing stops healing the target when they are at full health, so the heal absorb never actually goes away and flash heal doesn't really do much. All right, we want these guys as well, and this enforcer. There we go. That way we can maintain big pulls. Very nice. Absorb these orbs. There's going to be one from over here. I'm going to make sure I get that. Beautiful. We're going to lay on, or not lay on hands, sorry, just heal this person. Let me actually focus on my own defensiveness right now for a second here. Enforcer's at 10 stacks. I'm going to stun him. The way the enrage on the enforcer works is, oh, nice. The DK actually gripped him away from me so that he stops hitting me. That's also a good idea. But basically the way the enforcer enrage works is every time it auto attacks you, it gains a stack of this stun. Not stun, Jesus, sorry, I'm so overwhelmed right now because my health bar is not looking too hot. Every time he auto attacks you, he gains a stack of that stun, but people are stunning him. Not a stack of the stun, a stack of the enrage. Jesus, Vlad, get it together. But basically, if you just let him wail on you, he's going to get very, very powerful very, very soon. Some tanks can handle it. I don't really like to have to deal with that. We're going to wait for that patrol to start going away, and then we're going to pull this guy into the next group, and that should be a-okay unless I just die like an idiot. We're using a defensive and wings to make sure that we're a-okay and safe here. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Chained mind coming through. We're going to blind. I need to heal myself. Hopefully the other melee is taking care of the orbs. Not particularly well, I can't say. We're going to lay... I can't lay on hands. It's on cooldown, lad. Panic, panic, panic. Lava Bender is up. Okay, healer recovered. That was a bit messy. Honestly, that should not have been that messy. I'm going to very quickly pull this, and hopefully that Lava Bender comes in a little bit later. Oh man, I would love to have a rogue to distract those right now. We're going to Divine Toll, and what I want dead first is the Enforcer. So I'm going to go ahead and stun the Enforcer here, and we're going to kick as many casts of whatever the heck we can because it's really rough. We're going to keep healing the healer here. If I keep the healer alive, he keeps the rest of us alive. People understand that everything else should die first before the Lava Bender, because if the Lava Bender gets low and does Ascension, he starts pulsing AoE damage. If he pulses AoE damage and a Shadow Bolt hits at the same time, nobody's going to have a good time. That's going to be very hard for the healer to heal. The Hunter is pulling, like, he's going to body pull the next group if he's not very careful there. So that was kind of scary. We have orbs coming in. That's fine. We're going to put a focus on this thing, and we're going to target this thing, and I should be okay here. I'm going to stun this, and I'm going to just kick whatever I can and heal myself. That was a clutch heal right there. It didn't need to be that clutch. I don't know how I got that low. That was kind of scary, to be honest with you. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this orb so we get the full buff. And now what we can do here is we can skip these guys, and we're going to skip these guys. And we're just going to hope that nobody gets knocked back into them while we're fighting the boss, because double Lava Bender can be pretty tricky. Now this group, honestly, they're really good about the trash mechanics and everything. They kind of know what's going on, so I don't think they would have had an issue with pulling the double Lava Bender. What you basically have to do if you pull the double Lava Bender is you need to pray to God that your healer knows what he's doing, and then also you need to make sure that one of them dies first before the other one even gets low. We're gonna go ahead and stun this just so we don't have any issues. Okay, now the tactic for this boss as a tank is go stand in the corner, douchebag. So we're gonna go stand in the corner like a douchebag. Don't pull this boss with the shield. You will pull the two mobs. If you skip them, do not pull with shield. It will be... Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I found that out the hard way, let's put it that way. Okay, so far so good. The boss really doesn't hurt all that much. If you're worried about surviving, use a defensive on Devouring Flame. I'll use Ardent Defender now while it's doing Devouring Flame. That's the big AoE frontal thing that it does. One more thing to point out, when you're doing this with the affix where the extra mob spawns in and you have to like fight that extra mob, sometimes it will be, whatchamacallits. Sometimes it'll spawn here with you, or it'll come to you and try to just wrestle with you. You just have to make sure that you kill it. So that's something to point out. Other than that, there's really not much to this strategy. You just keep yourself alive here in this corner. You're focusing on your own health bar and you're letting your group deal with it. Another issue with the strategy, however, is if the mobs get incapacitated, meaning if the adds get spawned and incapacitated, you will probably get aggro from those adds and you will kick the bucket. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. All right, I'm gonna just cast a couple of these so I can shield slam as soon as I get in here. We're gonna Divine Toll. I had the wings a little bit after that. I don't like that, but you know, c'est la vie. And we're going to stun this Enforcer when he gets to a bit higher, bit higher stacks. 5 stacks is enough for me to consider stunning him. I'm gonna go stand on this side so I can collect these orbs. I stepped out of my consecration. I'm gonna lay on hands. I really don't want to die here. He's at 5 stacks with 2 orb buffs. That's pretty scary for me. Now we need to pull this destroyer. Pulling him right here around the corner lets people line of sight right behind that corner. It's a very good spot. However, you will notice that if somebody drops Twilight Flame right here around the corner, you might have trouble finding space to stand. So I'm gonna use that LOS to avoid getting knocked back. It's very scary to get knocked back by this guy because you can get knocked back into that, or you can get knocked back off the edge, or you can get knocked back into this corner where you can pull another dragon. This group is blasting the DPS. Holy shit, this run is fast as hell. We're 17 minutes in and we're already near the last boss. This is amazing. I guess when you have people that aren't at your item level or are at higher item level than your own, and you're at a shit item level, what the hell am I even trying to say? When you take people that are geared somewhat well for the run, it's a quick run. That's what I'm trying to say. I try to take people around my item level because my item level is shit. I don't want to get carried, but it turns out when your item level is shit, you should probably try and get some people into your run that can actually do what you need them to do. I could have done a double pull here, but it's kind of scary for people who get corrupted. If you have a group that's not using their defensives properly, it's best to avoid pulling the double pull here. Also, if you have a group of people that are just really amped up and just want to instantly drop all their shit the second you pull something, you definitely want to avoid pulling that because you need to have them wait while you pull the other group. And not every group will know to wait for that. See, like this person just popped a big old damage spell, the breath thing, the dragon that comes out. We're going to taunt that hatchling and throw something at this hatchling, and we're going to help the healer out a little bit with a wog. I was recently told that a wog is actually a slur in like British English, but that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying word of glory. It's a lot better than getting caught in a stutter like I did many moons ago when I did my first Paladin series with the Bisa.
Holy glory, word of glory, holiness. Yes.
And I had a brain fart and I couldn't remember what the spell was called. All right, we're on the last boss. As a paladin here, you can bubble and clear tentacles, which is really useful. People are super amped about pulling it. I didn't even get to cast the first spell. The hunter just started blasting it. So that's something. Hopefully I don't stand in a swirly. Okay, I didn't stand in a swirly. I would really like it if we picked up the orbs. So I'm going to go ahead and stand forward and pick up the orbs. Nobody really got close enough to the boss to pick up the orbs. I am now going to go ahead and move roughly to where I think the center of the circle is, which is here. Now, for positioning in this circle, one thing that you can do is just step on top of the boss. A lot of people just avoid getting close to the boss. Just step on top of the boss and stand on top of your tank, honestly. The tank doesn't mind. The AoE doesn't do much to them. Another thing that I recommend as a DPS player is don't AoE here. Don't AoE. You will put a stacking debuff on your group, and then your group is going to suffer through this Void Surge. See, we're now at 6 stacks. Ooh, okay. Healer blasted HPS, so it didn't matter, but that was rough. Okay, we're coming up on another Shadow Gale. I'm going to bubble this time and run to where the center is and clear the tentacles along the way. So I'm going to bubble now and just run through all of these, just clear all of them, and that is perfect. Give it a little Word of Glory. We're gonna lay on hands the healer. See this guy, which I think is the, what's it called, DK, just stood right on top of me and I didn't even feel it. It was perfectly fine. Okay, I was in a position where I won't get knocked back into a tentacle, which is good. I'm gonna give myself a Word of Glory. I have another one available. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna taunt this one that went off me. Void Surge is coming through. I don't have sack to give anyone, and that should be the boss dead. There we go. Beautiful. 2-star. It felt like it was going to be a 3-star for sure, but yeah, 2-star. What is this? What am I seeing here? Is that details or something? We're going to get rid of that. I don't know what that was. If somebody knows, let me know. Of course, I didn't get the trinket. That's unfortunate. I am going to go ahead and set my loot spec back to protection now. There we go. Thank you for the run. What did our friend get? Oh, he gave me shoulders. Oh, thanks. The DK got the trinket. I think the DK wanted the trinket, so he kept it. But yeah, that's freaking awesome. I got shoulder piece. That means I can get tier set. See you guys around. Alrighty. There we go. I kind of pointed out to the group that they can see themselves play on Definitely Not Vlad on YouTube if they want to. But now I want to put these on. They're actually really good. Like the stats on them are perfect. But I'm going to put those on and I'm going to go over here and we're going to tierify my chest piece and my shoulders. And then I'm going to have 2 set, which is going to be really nice. I'm going to slam even harder with the Shield of the Righteous. Well, that was one hell of a run. We got a 2-star, so we have a 6 Necrotic Wake. I think I'm going to drop that to a 4. What I'm going to do is also I'm going to run that Necrotic Wake. I'm going to try and get a couple of the dungeons in. I will let you know if I get any loot or anything like that. I might do some commentating over the dungeons, the recordings in editing later on if something interesting happens. But yeah, I'm going to go run some keys. I ended up only recording one more key, which was the Necrotic Wake key that I got. I dropped it to a 4 and just went into it. Since I've already gone through a Necrotic Wake, I'm only really going to focus on things that I didn't get to show off in my first run where I was a little bit too flustered. There's basically 3 pulls that I would like to cover that I didn't do in the previous run that you saw. The first one is taking the 2 big guys into a Necromancer where the spear is. I didn't get to do this in the previous run. The main focus here is that the fear can't get cast. If the fear gets cast, usually leads to a wipe, so it's very scary. Get it? The fear is very scary, so just focus on that. The way I handle it is I will focus one of the big guys and target the other one. The one that I have focused, I will use my kick on, and the one that I am targeting, I will use Avenger's Shield to interrupt. Relying on Avenger's Shield for a key interrupt is a little dubious because it is tied to the global cooldown, so it could really bite you in the ass. But at this point, you're really just hoping that you don't even have to use it and that your team kicks it. We did end up getting feared, and I managed to bubble and just keep everything together while the group, or rather the party, recovers from the fear and just continues blasting the mobs. The rest of this has to do with when you make it upstairs after the Wyvern, whatever, Chimera boss. I don't even know. After the second boss, when you go upstairs. Depending on the patrol, there's a few things you can do. I honestly recommend just waiting for the patrol. For the patrol to walk into a spot where you can comfortably pull everything into one big group. The key thing with the pull you're looking at right now is controlling the collectors. Not controlling, but like kicking the, what is it called? Gore Splatter. If you don't kick Gore Splatter, very likely, unless you have like a Mistweaver with the revival ready, very likely there's going to be too much damage for your group to handle. And it's going to cause some panic, and it's going to prevent the other thing from being kicked, and then suddenly it's a shit show. It's not necessarily a group wipe if the Gore Splatter goes off, especially in lower keys, especially when it's not fortified. But you really want to kick those. Again, I did the same tech where I focus one of them and I use Avenger's Shield to interrupt the other. And the last pull I want to talk about is actually immediately after this one. Well, not immediately, there's a small pull in between, which is like a cooldown recovery pull in lower keys or whatever. But basically it is the dragging the creation and crafter to the abomination over there that will do more tenderizing on you. It's important to communicate with pings. So I pinged the guys on the right to let people know that I will be pulling these. And then I pinged on my way on the guys that I'm actually going to, that I'm going to move the mobs to. So people know where I'm going. People might not notice these pings. They might not understand what exactly I'm doing. But if they look at the pings and they look at what my character's doing, they'll see a guy on a horse running towards the thing he pinged on my way to. And also pinged like the attack thing on the other guys. And they're wide walking at him. One of them is getting ready to throw a cleaver. But yeah, this was a very smooth Necrotic Wake. I'm super happy with it. I'm glad I got to show off these pulls because I think they're super fun. They're not too challenging. If you can handle it, you can, for the most part, especially as a Prot Paladin, since you have the kick on your Avenger's Shield, you can really handle a lot of the heavy lifting on these pulls. So yeah, I just wanted to show those off. Before we end the episode, I'd like to point out one more thing, and that is you can vote for what healer, ranged DPS, and melee DPS I'm playing. You can pick any specialization in the game. Just check the links in the description and go vote. You can vote once a day, so if it doesn't look like yours is going to win, just come back the next day and vote again. One thing I will point out is I will not play the same class twice. For instance, currently, as I'm recording this, Elemental Shaman and Enhancement Shaman are both winning for ranged and melee DPS. Instead of playing Shaman twice, I'm going to play the second most picked. So take that into account as you vote. But that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. Let me know what you liked about it in a comment down below. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can become a channel member. Channel members have guaranteed replies to their comments and they get nice little shoutouts at the beginning of episodes. But as always, thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.